posted really late, but you know.
And metal.
It's the holidays. I've had to deal with school, finals, work, all this shit. You know, there wasn't enough time for me to get this out any earlier, and I apologize. And I wanted to perfect it because, you know, a lot of people are just nitpicking Abyss because of how well it did in Japan, and you know, that's fine. That's healthy for a card game. But I didn't necessarily just want to take something off the net and throw it up here and go, yeah, guys, this is what I built. I hadn't seen this build before. And I'm not saying it's super unique. I'm just saying that I haven't seen these specifically 50 cards together for this deck. So obviously it's Abyss. So you run Judge Bow because he's broken. Potential +3, guarantee +1, potential +3. So yeah, he's insane. Grade 3s, it's pretty standard. 4 Abyss because he's really good. A lot of people were, you know, crying because he seems really nerfed compared to like Thing. A lot of people are comparing him to Thing, but what you consider is that discarding or paying a cost from field is always better than paying cost from hand, because paying cost from field allows you to commit to the board and still get your value out of your cards instead of just discarding from hand. Because if sometimes you just drop 20k shield in order to stand, whereas this, you know, you lose nothing that you need later on in order to survive, pretty much. So the reason he's really good, and the reason they made him the way he is because if he was just whenever you won, counter +2, kill 3, stand, he'd be insane. Because that itself is insane. That cost is way too cheap for that to happen. So they did what they could in order to make him good, and he is good. A lot of people say that this card, Thing is better than Abyss by itself, but this deck is better than Thing. So I kind of agree with them. I think the deck just works more well together to make him a finisher, and the deck just carries Abyss as opposed to Abyss carrying the deck. So what's really weird about this deck is that it runs 4 Break Red. You know, you could run Dragular if you really want to. I just personally don't like Dragular that much, although I can see why people would run them. But you run Mordred because standing twice at 30 plus is pretty good. It's really good, actually. Actually, it's 32 plus, guaranteed, unboosted. So, yeah. So that's why Mordred's good. He's a solid +1. He helps pay for his skill. The counter +1 does hurt this deck a lot more than it did like Rage Storm, because this deck is very counter +3. Abyss costs 2 himself. So, yeah. But it's not... Like, a lot of people always try to get Mordred off. I don't. I just can sit on Abyss for a while until I'm ready to Legion and try to win the game. But yeah, do try to ride him, but don't like re-ride in order to make sure you get Mordred, unless you feel it's necessary. Like, it's really situational, but I don't feel like it's always necessary to do that. For grade 2s, I do run 2 Masquerade. A couple 6Ks in this deck. I want to be able to make good numbers. Because, you know, the 6Ks I'm talking about are Swordbreaker. I can't sacrifice those off. So if I don't call over them, they're dead weight. I can't sacrifice them for Abyss's skill. You know, they're shitty boosters. So I need to be able to hit good numbers with Abyss, or I'm sorry, with my rear guards. And Masquerade helps that. You know, put Masquerade or a grade 3 in front of a Swordbreaker, it hits good numbers basically against anything. So that's why I run Masquerade at 2. A lot of people cut him for this guy. I only run 2 McCart because I don't feel like he's fully necessary. At 4, yes, he's a very good card. He helps fill the field. He also can call over those Sword Breakers if you're unable to. But, you know, I don't... He's not worth maxing out at 4 because he's a 9k vanilla.
And did you just get hit 5 times?
But yeah, he is good. So, run 4, run 2. I personally like the Masquerade.
I don't know what.
Next up is the mate for your Vanguard.
Oh shit.
Blessed Dark Revenger Abyss. He is really good, especially in the mirror. If you hit this, turn 2, kill their Judge Bow, and they don't kill yours, you have so much advantage, it's insane. But in most mirrors, you know, kill any annoying booster, any annoying starter that you just don't like. You can really only use this skill once. You can't like spam, you know, hit 4, kill 4 things. You know, this deck just doesn't have the counter blast for that. It has some fixing, but not a lot. But yeah, he's really good, and you have to run him because he's your Vanguard's bait. So another reason. There's a reason he's a triple R. Is basically what I'm saying. And then last for grade 2 is Blessed Dark Revenger. He is simply here for toolboxing. I'm sorry, for fixing your counter blast. Like I said, a lot of counter blasts in this deck. You always need 2 for your restand. You need 1 for Judge Vow. You need 1 for Mortar's Phantom if you use that, and then you have a spare one. But sometimes that spare one doesn't always get there, or you need to unflip your damage because they didn't push you as much damage as they thought they would. This is where he comes into play. You really never use his skill, ever. But with Thorn here, which is the next card I'm going to show you, free 1 counter blast open, or maybe even 2. I'll show you what's up with that later. So, grade 1s. 4 Dorant, like I said, you want to be able to unflip the damage when you can. Without Taitu, he's not as tutorable as he was before. However, if you get one on the field and you unflip 1 damage, you got value out of them. That's why they're worth running.
Why did you do this to me?
But yeah, counter blasts are extremely sacred in this deck, so that's why you need this guy. Next is 4 10Ks. Or 3 10Ks, I'm sorry, 3 10K Masquerade. You know, you just, the attackers are so abundant. I'm going 12 grade 2s. I'm never at a shortage of attackers, so that's why I cut him down. He's really just a 7K vanilla, and the rest of the Revengers have really bad grade 1s, in my opinion. So that's why I really run him. There's not much else. I would run Dark Bond, but there's really no targets for him, and the Tricana Blast just isn't there. Next, I do run 2 Swordbreaker, because Judge Bowing on 2 Swordbreaker is ridiculous. It's an instant +3, and normally I call, like this is my Vanguard circle, I call in a column like this. If they kill this, I don't care, I can call over this with an attacker. But this, I literally like to have this as a booster. You know, you do get instant value out of them when you Judge Bow, because you draw 2 cards off them. But having that booster there is really good as well. So it just saves you 5k shield pretty much. But there's no reason to waste 5k shield. And it'll last, you know, 4 perfects. So, you know, it's Revengers. So pretty standard trigger lineup as well. 8 crit. 4 draw. I do not like 12 crit in this deck at all. I don't think it's smart to run 12 crit in this deck at all. Draw trigger is really good. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think it's real. So let me just kind of show you what I mean by you can potentially unflip 2 with Torrent and Blaster Dark. So this really has been, it's not well known. However, a lot of people do know about it, but it can really save your ass. Like let's say you're at 3 damage, but you're all kind of bust out because your opponent didn't push you to more, and you're ready to push for game. So you create this column. Alright? And then you just call over this Dorant, or either Dorant. It really doesn't matter which Dorant you call over, but you know, just for sake of it, you're going to call over this Dorant. Now, technically, at this moment, Blaster Dark was called in the same column as both Dorants. Before he dies, his effect goes off. It goes on the, I don't want to say stack because that's incorrect. It goes in line. It goes in the queue. There you go. You do not lose timing in this game for any reason that I have found yet. So that's why you unflip for this one, and you unflip for this one. This one no longer existed. So you unflip for Ghost Dorant here, and Real Dorant here. So let's unflip 2, which is enough for you to restand, which can potentially win you the game. If anyone has any discrepancies, please check the wiki, please Google. Make sure your judge knows what's going on. You know, I don't want you to start any fights over this, but that's how things work in this game. And playing this deck to the best of your ability, you know, you don't want to miss a chance at winning the game because you missed that ruling, because you just didn't know. And then the next turn you lose or something stupid like that. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that because it's not well known, and it actually saved my ass in one of the games that I was playing at a tournament. So, yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.